All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Rivals on the Pitch, the first episode of 2026. Congrats, we're still here. And look, we have a guest today. It's Pat. I don't know, because it's usually me and Alan taking over because, COVID is back. You got to put a mask on. But no, here we are. Rivals on the Pitch, helping you start off your 2026 the right way.
Yep.
Of course, we're going to go over match week 20. And then we're going to go into match week 21. And you can't start off the new year without some explosions, some fireworks. Speaking of fireworks, sackings, new coaches, vacancies, lots open for some big teams. Chelsea, Manchester United. Maybe other teams will follow as well. But we'll get into that. And today is also a Rivals Week episode, so it's going to go down between Arsenal and Liverpool with our combined 11. Well, it's not really going to be that much of a combined 11, but we'll get to it. But there we go. As you can see, we're a man down. Not all of us can be here, but, some people can. But that's it.
We do what we can.
We do what we can, all right? Well, sit back, relax, grab a beer, enjoy. Let's get this episode going.
Let's get it going. And here I am, being loyal to the podcast, unlike other people who can't join
starting this year. Because last year.
It's exactly.
New year, new me.
We're gonna have to start deducting mini league points for those who can't join.
Not showing.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm waiting, and it's just the two of us.
Wow. Waiting.
You know
Roll the tape. We have the CTV. we can go back and find all this stuff. Yeah, waiting.
Exactly. Or cheers to a 2026.
Yeah, cheers.
Hopefully more followers, more likes.
Hopefully it's a good year for our teams.
Yes. Yep. Plenty of season to go. We're only at the halfway mark. And so we have, as we expected, we have some sackings that I think we should dive into first because there's quite a couple. And could we have predicted this? I mean, I know Manchester United has been a rotating door for managers. We know that Chelsea was a rotating.
Has been Chelsea.
Yep, exactly. But could we have maybe expected other managers to go first? Maybe Thomas Frank, maybe Wolves. I mean, we did see a lot of turnover of West Ham, Nottingham Forest.
Wolves already did, but
Wolves, exactly. Then, they picked up their first win and first win of 2026 as well. First game, first win. New year, new Wolves.
Good for them. Yeah, hopefully. I mean, maybe it's expected too much. I love Wolves, but it's a little too late. But we'll see.
Yep, we'll see. I think they might be on their way to getting out of having the worst record. I think they could do it. They have a lot of time. There's plenty of games left.
Yeah. And this window's open. Maybe they can make some signings, but who really wants to sign for a team that's most likely going to be relegated? So it's not really something people are looking at.
They may be starting to try to prepare for the championship, picking up players now that, are looking to maybe win it next year, win the championship next year if they're going to be down there.
Like West Ham, who just hit the window running. What I think they bought three three strikers, whatever. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, and we'll see what happens there with Nuno Espirito Santo. He's on the hot seat right now too. With all these sackings, everyone's looking around, making sure their spot's secured. But let's get into this. First sacking was Chelsea, Enzo Maresca. And let's talk about a little bit of what we know, right? So
nothing.
He was hired, following a rather odd success, Champions League via Tuchel after having fired Frank Lampard, and they spent all this money on new players. Enzo, they got Moises Caicedo. They have
Lavia, who hasn't
Lavia,
hasn't
as
well.
played.
Yeah,
goalkeepers, strikers,
Mudryk, where is he now?
wingers.
Suspension.
So a lot of money spent. He had a decent squad. There was a lot of question marks around Enzo Maresca's name. He was from the Pep school, right? And then he
Yeah.
succeeded at Leicester Cities, but there were still a lot of question marks. Could he do it? Uh, Chelsea had quite a lengthy squad, and he was able to basically confirm what his preferred team was and
Yeah.
kind of almost push out the rest of the team. I think out of those
Yeah.
lingering players, Raheem Sterling is the only one left that's basically not a confirmed
Yeah.
squad player. So, and I gotta say, I feel like Chelsea, even though they had a decent November, undefeated, ending and last game was, I think, was the 1-1 draw against Arsenal. Then they had a shaky December where they couldn't get a win at all. They got some draws in there, but that's it. But it's not enough to sack a manager, right? So I think some of the things that came out was about Pep Guardiola and him possibly leaving after the season, having only 1 year left on his contract. Could he leave next year? People were saying that Enzo Maresca might be the one to take over for Pep
Yeah.
Guardiola or Manchester City. Um, and then reports came out of how basically Maresca was being pushed or forced to not play certain players or to start certain players because Chelsea is essentially a business, and you had to get some players time in order for them
Yeah.
to become profitable in the winter window, in the summer window, also not to risk starting players and other stuff. Well, he's trying to have a successful season. He wants to get into Champions League again. He wants to have a run at
Uh-huh.
the champions. He wants to, you know, and they were title contenders just a few weeks ago. So
Yeah.
um, a lot came out about what was happening behind the scenes, and at the end, I think Chelsea gave themselves away by saying that in the summer, after Enzo Maresca had won the Club World Cup with Chelsea, they were still considering a change in managerial position. They were looking at other coaches already. So a lot of things behind the scenes, slightly different for Manchester United, but I don't know. Enzo Maresca seems like he was finally finding his feet at this club, and they didn't give him the trust.
I don't know. I mean, I've also think that based on everything he's accomplished, let's be honest, he's won the Confederation Cup, the Conference
Yeah,
Cup, my bad, Conference Cup.
Conference Cup. Yeah,
Then he won the Club World Cup as well. I think what he was asking was just for a little more power, a little more control over certain things, which is I think is which is acceptable in certain things, maybe like the transfers, because I remember there was an article that was saying that they were asking about Garnacho. They just brought it up to him, and he's like, "Yeah, I think he'd be a good player." But that was it. That was just like that was the only input he had, and they bought without him. So I think he wants to be in control of the players because, like you've mentioned, they spent so much on players, and these aren't the players that he wants. You know, he's trying to trim the fat, or and the wage bill with everyone they spent, and like we said, he came down to the certain amount of players that he wants, and then he's like, I've seen what you've done with your transfers these past windows. I think we can do better by letting me have a little control over, a little say in that, because I'm the coach. I know what's going to be what I'm looking for, what I need for this team. I don't know how you guys are doing it. Maybe you're just because I remember back then Chelsea, whoever Arsenal, Liverpool, or whoever was rumored for what Chelsea was like right after them. They're like, oh, now Chelsea's
yep.
in the conversation. So that was like a joke, but I don't know how are these guys coming up with these transfers like Lavia, Caicedo. They both play the same position. Why get
And
both?
Enzo.
And especially when they both and Enzo, and they're all breaking the bank. They're all high transfer fees. So
Yep.
I don't know what it is that they're going after, but I think Maresca was like, all right, I see what you guys are doing. It's not working. Let's try to save money and stuff like this. Let me be a little more control. And I don't think they wanted that. And at that point, wait, bro, you got us back into top four, Europe, 2 trophies, Club World Cup. Yeah, that was like a joke, but you beat PSG, one of the best teams. You won his trophy. You won his
There's
silverware. Like
money
I said, you
behind
got
it.
us the
Yeah.
Grand Slam of trophies. You won everything there is to win in Europe. Fuck it, okay, we'll let you have that because Todd Bowley, let's be honest, he's not a football. He doesn't know anything about this. He's just, I think, spends the cash. Let
Yeah,
Maresca. Yes, he came from Leicester. He's not a big name, but let him have a little say. Let the guy who knows football do the football aspect of it. You just
yeah,
write the check and all right, I trust you. But yeah, I don't know what it is. I think it was a bad call on their part, honestly, to do that. I think a little
I agree.
turmoil, a little, back and back is good for a relationship in a way. You want a little of that, talk back, little pushback, because
I
that
agree.
means like the coach cares in a way, and
I
that's what I want.
agree.
I want a little fight, but sadly, it had to end
Yeah.
for Maresca.
Yep. It's weird because we can move on to Manchester United because they have a slightly similar scenario. But before we move on to Manchester United, Enzo Maresca, does he end up in the Premier League again, either this season or next season?
Ah, man, I'd say take your time this summer.
Yeah,
You don't want to jump into something head on, not prepared for it. I think the opportunities will come. Like as he's won for Chelsea. I think he's done well for Leicester. I think he's done well for Chelsea as well. I think take this time to think of game plans, maybe scout players, do your research, and then come back in the summer and go back to a team that actually wants you.
see what's available.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there are spots right now that are open, so we'll see what can
Yep.
happen. He's a
All
he's
right.
a he's a
So
hot commodity. I'll give him that.
yeah, I think so too. I wouldn't be surprised if we see him in the Premier League again. I know Chelsea weren't a incredibly consistent team. I know they have some issues in defense right now, which people say defense wins you leagues. So, um,
The
had they
goalkeeping,
been
I
able
think, was
to
a big thing
that
for me.
too, had they been able to work that out, Chelsea could be a consistent top four team, and that's really one of the most consistent things you can do. Is if you can get yourself into
Yeah.
Champions League every year, that's considered a top team. So. Um, all right, so let's move on to Manchester United. This one came a little bit more. I want to say it was almost like people were bracing for it. Obviously, same similar position where it was hard to find
Yeah.
consistency in this football from Ruben Amorim and Manchester United. Yeah, he didn't get as much money or control over the transfers as he wanted. I think probably and more Cunha
Yeah.
could have been one of his asks. I know Sesko, I don't think was. I think that was just more of a club uh, purchase to
I mean,
see
Bruno
if you can get
Fernandez
something out
was
of it.
his ask. They wanted to
Yeah,
sell him, but Ruben
exactly.
Amorim fought for him to stay. So I mean, he got something out of it, but still, yeah, I think. But
Yep, it's. I mean, it's hard to dish out
hearing
that
that press
money.
conference though was hard. He's
And
like,
that's what it is. I mean, they did
yeah,
spend a lot of money still, though, even though he didn't get
yeah,
everything he wanted. But in the conference, he did mention that he was there to supposedly be the manager of Manchester United, and then he kind of
yeah,
started pointing fingers, saying, the scouting has to do their job, etc.
yeah,
And I wasn't here to be the head coach. I was here to be manager. So it kind of pointed to him saying like, I was told I was going to do this and that, and I don't have all the control. I don't have all the decision
yeah,
power, decision making power. So it's kind of hard to see that because I feel like Manchester United fans took a liking to him because he was kind of like he had that, and I think Alan mentioned that in the last episode. He had that almost like cockiness to him about his playing style. No, it has to be this way,
yeah,
kind of deal. And until we get it right, it's gonna, we have to keep working at it. So it's tough to see that, even as an Arsenal fan. It's kind of tough to see like such a great club come to such a point where managers are picking fight with the ownership, and then the ownership, instead of fixing the issues, they just create more issues by sacking probably the most consistent thing they had.
yeah.
So
I mean, yeah, they were inconsistent, that consistent, but look at where they are in the table.
Oh yeah,
They're right
exactly.
outside of. I mean, compared to last year, 15th. They're what teetering around 5. I think tied on points with Chelsea, right outside of Champions League,
Hmm.
and they're not in any of those competitions. So you have a good chance of getting up there. Yeah, they're inconsistent, but look at what they're at. Their inconsistency has got them up to that point in the table.
Yep.
And I'll suck it. Yeah, it's not the prettiest, but you want Manchester United to win. Maybe this is the progress. This is what you need to get. It's not going to be an overnight fix. We've seen it with Arteta. We've seen it with Jurgen Klopp. We've seen it with even with Spurs under Pochettino. It takes time. You're not gonna
It
do
does.
it. You're not. Everyone's not like Chelsea, who has that money in the bank and was able. I mean, Maresca was able to do what he did with Chelsea, but that's different. But yeah, it's just hard. Like I said, I think I mentioned the last episode. Chelsea's not that team that we're not into the rebuilding moment. They need to win in the first or second year.
Right.
And that's the same thing with Manchester United. They're one of the biggest clubs in the world. They they have to still be the biggest club in the world, and by being that, you have to win something. You have to be competitive. But I think it was a bad call. But
Yeah,
if
agreed.
everything that Ruben said about like, oh, they knew that I was only going to be here managing, and I'm only here until the 18 months, and then I'm done. Why would you hire that? Why would you hire someone to be here for 3 years then? It makes no sense. If that was your plan along to cut him after 3 years, or maybe that was just him, bickering because of all this stuff that's happening in the back,
That's
false
what I feel
promises
like
and
it
everything.
was.
But
I feel like that's what it was. It was him saying, I'm going to do my job and I'm going to do it well. I've been doing my job. Other people need to do theirs because hint,
yeah,
they're not doing it. They're not getting me the players I'm asking for. They're not filling the holes that I'm telling them that there is. And so he's like, I got 18 months, and then after that, I'm walking because I think he almost felt like he was played. It's not the position he was
yeah,
promised, maybe. And you know, uh, some people online were commenting about how what he did with what was he at Benfica or Sporting?
sporting.
Yeah, and they said that he came in and he basically brought in 20 new players, and then the season after they won the league. So, and I know that
Yeah,
Sporting is one of the bigger teams in Portugal, so they're 1 out of 3 likely to win it, right? Out of the three
yeah,
big teams there. But you know, if his track record isn't what you brought him in for, then like why wouldn't you give him the press? You clearly brought him in because you thought that he has a successful process taking a team, turning it
yeah,
around, and turning it into a challenging team. If you if you got him in to that Manchester United seat, why? Because of those reasons, why don't you give him what he needs to do that? You know what I mean? I just don't understand this whole scenario. It's in similar situation to Chelsea where you had a coach who kind of had like a back and forth with the ownership,
yeah,
and then he got basically sacked. But in this scenario, I feel like um, it's different because he didn't get the trust, he didn't get the players, he didn't get the money.
yeah,
Manchester United, I know they've been cutting things here and there. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Uh, you know, peanut butter sandwiches, no jelly.
yeah. No more fish and chips in the
but
cafeteria.
But still, like, I just feel like they didn't give him the trust to do what he was hired to do. So, um, yeah, it's a tough
And
one to see.
seeing all these things, and you going back to all the previous coaches, I remember like Ole Solskjaer was even saying like, I told the board to go after Haaland, to go after
Holland, yeah,
Declan Rice, to go
yep,
after these players.
yep,
And what happened? They didn't go for him. And what happened
yep.
now? They are world class players. So you can sort of see what Ruben Amorim is talking about, because it goes all the way back to Ole. And I mean, and even Ralph Ragnick, when he said they had to change. Even Cristiano Ronaldo, saying, I don't even recognize this club anymore. The facilities, everything is not this is old. There's no innovation. There's nothing. They just stopped. So if you got
Well,
these, coaches speaking out, it means something. They're not
yeah.
going to be those coaches that are just going to, bite their tongue and, say thank you for the opportunity and walk out. No, these ones are actually saying the truth, and that's what I think what fans want. You got Ruben. He's a young guy. Let him cook, even if it's not working this year. But look at what he's got. He's gotten you 5th place. Let's see what can happen uh, at the end of the year. Maybe he would you get you in Europe. Maybe the
What if he
third
gets them
year
into
will
top
be the
four?
charm. Yeah,
Exactly.
you're
That's what I'm
right
saying.
outside of it. If he was in 15th like he was last season, all right, I'd can you. Sorry, thank you, good luck, and do whatever, thank you, and
Yeah,
take your coaching with you. But you're not. Yes, it's not beautiful soccer, but sometimes
he's got
you
to
have to
work with
ignore that.
what he's had too.
Again, but
He's had a
I
lot of
saw
injuries
Real
too. So
Ferdinand, or I think it was Real Ferdinand, said that they have to get coaches that want to play the way Man United want to play. And I'm like, no, forget that. I don't think that's the right way.
yep,
Everyone thinks Manchester United. The only way they think of that is because of Fergie. Fergie has been there for so long. That's why it's now the Manchester United way. I think you have to cut that BS and get a coach who's going to do the job. That's it. What is the Manchester United way? There is no way, because every 2 years they sack someone. So
yep.
what's the way? There is no Manchester United way.
And you're gonna find this one funny. So much about sacking coaches over and over and over, and now the most
Oh
likely
yeah,
candidate is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
he put his
Um,
hand up. He wants to go for it. He's like, I
I
don't care
mean,
what it is. I'll
yeah,
go for it.
there was an interview not too long ago where they asked him if he had any regrets regarding everything he did, and he said that it wasn't necessarily a regret, but he said he wished he could have won a title with Manchester United, like a big title. And obviously he won the Champions League with them when he was a
Yeah,
player. So he said, I meant as a coach. He's like, I wish I could have. He's like, it's not a regret because I wasn't able to, but it's one of the things that I really wanted to do. Maybe he gets a chance now. Obviously they got to get back into Champions League, and the Premier League's probably out of the question at the moment. But you never know. An FA Cup, get a little bit of money, and then
yeah.
actually, I think they might be out of the FA Cup, aren't they?
I think they might be out of everything.
Oh, all right.
I
Well,
honestly don't
get
know.
back into champions, get some money,
Yeah,
and then fight for another title. But
I mean, there is. Some news that Luis Enrique uh,
oh,
turned down a big money contract extension for PSG. I think he's out of contract this year, and I think what he says is he wants a new challenge this summer. So, I mean,
that would be a
I'm
good
not trying
one. I
to
don't think he's.
be. I mean, Manchester United will be a big challenge because he likes the young players. So I think that's what Manchester United have. But I mean, it's
Yeah,
just maybe that's why they'll just stick with Darren Fletcher at the moment, or maybe Ole, and you know run it out and then try to give a nice proposition to Luis Enrique. But then again, Bruno Fernandes, he was only held because of Ruben Amorim. Manchester United wanted to sell him. So now what is
yeah.
his story? Is he going to be sold for big money, or is he going to stay? I don't know. It's just a lot of questions for Manchester United, but whatever.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's gone this winter window. Honestly,
And what about all the
they're
the rejects? They come back. They're going to be happy. I mean, because I think a lot of them had a falling out with Ruben, but whatever. We'll see what
yeah,
happens. Whoever comes back.
Kobe Mainu. Kobe Mainu will be happy. But yeah, we'll see what happens. And like I said, as we know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is currently the top runner for that Manchester United position.
Yeah.
As far as Chelsea, they did hire their sister club from Strasbourg, I want to say.
Strasbourg. Yeah, Strasbourg.
So manager, not a ton of experience, English coach. And, some of the commentary around the world is saying that, this is going to be a big job for him, the biggest one he's probably ever had, biggest one he might ever have, depending on how he does here. But
Yeah.
like people were saying, he's young, so he sees the big stars, he sees his name in shining lights, so he's never going
Yeah.
to turn down Chelsea. But Chelsea may see him as a coach who will play ball, and if they tell him, hey, you got to play these players because we got to sell them in the
Exactly.
summer. So
Be a good boy
Well,
and do what you're told, basically.
we'll see how long that lasts until that and another press conference comes out where he's saying, "I'm not getting,
Yeah.
I'm not making the choices anymore, so I don't want to be here."
Yeah.
But it goes around. I think eh, we'll talk a little bit about Tottenham since Alan's not here. I feel like you got to find a coach that's going to care about the team enough to feel like a loss hurts them in a personal way.
Yeah.
This is why I thought like losing Ange Postecoglou was such a big loss to the Premier League world to begin with, because he was very much. I feel like he was more Tottenham the day he left than any of the other coaches, more than Thomas Frank, more than Conte. Because when they had Conte, when they had Mourinho, Mourinho came to prove a point. Conte came in because he was a big name that could follow Mourinho. But all of them really, they weren't really in
Yeah.
it the way Ange Postecoglou was. So that's why I feel like it was such a big loss. And, had they not won that European Cup, I think 17th is enough to sack a manager. However, like you got to find someone who cares the way that he did, man, because he. I mean, I got to say that he's a passionate
And that's why
person.
the players were, that's someone they looked up to, they respected, because
Yeah, you want to
that's why they were
have
surprised when he got sacked. That's
as a
someone you want to
player
fight for. Yeah.
you want to have someone that you feel would like be out there in the field for you. And with Arteta, like I feel like he's one of those managers that people hate because he steps over that managerial line. He's almost on the field and he's like clapping it up, and he's not like Arsene Wenger who just stand up every now and then and go sit back
Yeah.
down. So you want someone who feels like they're on your side. They want to see you succeed, and they're right there with you. They would put on a shirt if they could, type of player. I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is that kind of player. I think he cares about Manchester United. So I think out of these two, I think Manchester United might end up in a better situation come into the season out of Chelsea and
I mean,
United.
it'll be interesting to see, though. I mean,
Yeah, they're
because
not too
yeah,
far
Ole
off
does
from
have
each other.
more. Yeah, but Ole has experience, and
Yeah,
hopefully second time's a charm. He'll learn from it. He'll have even bad experiences is experience anyway, so he'll use that and hopefully can turn things around for Manchester United and maybe get that second lifeline. But that's like going back to your ex-girlfriend. Do you really want that? Or you want the next best thing? But we'll see. Yeah.
exactly.
So far, I mean, at least one spot is filled. Now we just gotta wait for the Manchester United spot.
Yep, we'll see. All right, so let's dive into some of these games from the past
Yeah.
week. So we had
Ah.
match week 20, and we started
Woo.
off with Aston Villa after coming up from that beating from Arsenal. They had to get back up. You know what I mean? They still want to make top four, regardless of the titles in the question. They still want to be that top team, get back into Champions League. So they beat Forest 3-1. Ollie Watkins on fire. He did get one
Forest.
at the
Yeah.
Emirates, and good for him. He's finally. I think we missed him that first half of the season. Wasn't really doing
Yeah.
his
He
thing,
showed
but
up. New Year's
yeah.
resolution, score goals. There you go.
And who knows? That we mentioned the World Cup's coming. We don't know who's going to be there. If Harry Kane gets an injury right before the World Cup, who's next up, or who's going to be right behind them on the bench? Lots
Yep.
with Calvert Lewis, Lewitt.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Yeah, Lewin.
Yeah. Um. So he's right behind. And he's striking. He's striking right now as well. We had Brighton beat Burnley 2-0. Burnley looking like the out of the three promoted
Next
sides, looking
team.
like they're the last one out of those. We mentioned it earlier. Wolves with their first win of the season.
It was a good
One
game. It was a good
one
game.
out
I
of
was
one
happy for them.
for 2026. Yeah, me too. And West Ham, man, they were all over the place. All three goals came in the first half, I'm pretty sure. I gotta double check on that. Yeah, all three came in the first half. So Uh, good for Wolves. They deserve some good news, man. They've had a
Yeah.
lot of suffering this season.
The coach deserves it, man. It's hard to be a Wolves fan, but hopefully new
Yeah,
year they can get a little run. At least not at least not make history. At least get over the 10 points I believe, or 12. But
yeah,
hopefully they can make it.
yep. Uh, Bournemouth at home hosting Arsenal. Arsenal take this one 3-2. I think my prediction was 2-1, maybe. I can't remember what it was,
3-1.
but 3-1. All right, almost had it.
Yeah, 3-1.
They did get one over, and us had made the game. We always end up making it a little too difficult for ourselves. But man, scoring 3 goals, you think you win a game, but not in the Premier League. Not in the Premier League. 3 goals is never enough. For Wolves, it was, but yeah, Rice came back after being injured. He was out for the Villa game, comes back and scores 2. Um, might be player of the season for Arsenal, man. But let's hope he stays healthy. He's young, so he's never really suffered. I think the match he missed against Villa was just precautionary. He felt
Precautionary.
something. They're like, let's not risk it. So let's hope he's there for Liverpool. I think he is fit and he is available. So all right, so this was the last game for Ruben Amorim. Manchester United away to Leeds, and they draw 1-1. Not super
Yeah.
convincing. And they do
But
have
then
players
again,
at
I mean,
AFCON as
Leeds,
well.
yeah, but Leeds have been playing well.
They
So
have been.
it's not to downplay Leeds at all, but I mean, like I said last episode, they shoot up, man. When it's certain teams, they play well, they show up. But I mean, it's Manchester United. I don't think that should count as like a poor display because Leeds has been doing it consistently so far.
Yeah, they're getting there for sure. Like I said, out of the 3 promoted teams, Leeds have been doing pretty decent. So, all right. Then we have Tottenham at home hosting Sunderland. Alan thought it was really funny when Sunderland drew against Arsenal. How about now?
Alan thinks a lot of things are funny. That's why he's not here. He's so
That's why he's not
laughing.
here. Oh man, this was such a lackluster performance, and this is following a 0-0 draw. Was it Everton against Everton? Another draw and this was they were winning this game, and Sunderland tied it up, and Tottenham
Yeah,
just didn't look like they
Sunderland.
could find any answers. Sunderland is playing well, but still, like it's Tottenham at home, you got to do better, And
Yeah.
again, how do you feel? I think at this point, I feel like Thomas Frank will see out the rest of the season. But does he get another season, or does it depend on where they finish?
I think you got to give him. It's like different variations. I mean, like yeah, it depends. He has to finish the season. They're not going to can him. I think that would look like a team in panic or something. Everyone
Yeah,
is doing it so far. You got to let them run it out. You got to show that you're a bigger club and you're not in panic mode. I think they'll let them finish the season, and depends on how it ends. They're still in the Champions League. Maybe they have a good run there. We'll see what happens. But I don't think you can count him after the first season. You know it's going to be a progress.
yeah,
He's known for developing players. I'll think you'll see it the next season.
yeah. I feel like the target for Tottenham had to have been get back into Europe. Obviously, they're in Champions League now because they won the Europa League.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're gonna win the Champions League. Obviously, anything could happen. But at this
As
point
long
of
as
the
they make the
season,
knockout stages, I think that's
yeah.
somewhat a mission accomplished there.
Oh yeah, exactly. So, but they got to get back into it. That's the thing. I feel like that was probably the goal for Thomas Frank. For what he did at Brentford, almost getting into European leagues. What can he do with a better squad, more money? Uh,
Yeah.
and yeah, they're not necessarily doing that well right now. Sitting 13th in the league, only 4 spots up from where they were last season. Halfway through the
And
season.
it must suck when you getting compared to Ange's last season every time.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
it's just, it's a hard pill to swallow. But, well, I mean, there's still plenty of
Yeah.
season left. Maybe Thomas Frank can do it. But knowing Allen, he's like, no, I'm done with Frank.
I know. Well, and to be fair to him, it's not necessarily that he doesn't want to give coaches time. It's just that I think he feels he hasn't seen enough evidence of
Yeah.
consistent or good football to play off. Like we mentioned before, it's if you can see like things happening, but they're just not completely clicking. You're like, we just got to
Yeah.
get these small things right. Then what we can be there. You know what I mean? If they're getting
Yeah.
all these
Especially your
shots on
home
target,
form
yeah.
as well.
If you're getting all these shots on target, but the ball's just not going in, you could work out little quirks. but it seems like it's too inconsistent. You don't really know what the plan is. That's when you feel like you're in trouble. And I feel like that's why
Mhm.
Allen's like, this is, even if it gets us to top 6, maybe it's just not the right
Yeah.
fit, you know? It's like getting over the finish line, but the shoes are too small. You know?
Oh, that hurts.
Yeah. All right, then we had a great game here. Everton at home hosting Brentford. Everton 2, Brentford 4. Thiago, man,
Oh my
I'm
god.
I said Voltamata might be my newcomer of the season. Thiago, Brazilian striker, another hat trick. He's right behind Holland, and I don't think he'll catch up to Holland, but he's
Yeah,
right
but
behind Holland on goals this season.
yeah, but look at what Holland has giving him service to, and what
That's true.
Thiago has,
That
and
is very
but
true.
still, Thiago is. I think what last season he came off an injury and didn't have a good display, and now this season he's turning it up.
Yeah, and he's
It's good
becoming
for him.
the man for Brentford after all these players that left. First of all,
Yeah.
was the player they had 2 seasons ago, the one that bet and he was a band,
Oh, damn it, god damn, Tony.
Tony. Yeah, can't remember his
But
first name, but
I think Ivan
um,
Tony,
Ivan
or
Tony.
maybe
Yeah, so
yeah,
Ivan Tony left. People were wondering what the heck. Then they lost Wisa, they lost Mbomo, and now here we go. Now we got Tiago, and he's filling in the shoes just
yeah.
fine. He said, "I don't need any of you guys. We're good to go." Brentford in a good spot. Makes you think: was it really Thomas Frank the whole time at Brentford, or was it just the entire
Nah,
coaching staff?
I think we
And
discussed it that certain clubs they just have a good system, and yeah.
yep. All right. We also had Newcastle at home hosting Crystal Palace, and Newcastle went 2-0. Decent game, nothing crazy. Here we go. We had a Fulham at home hosting
Oh my god,
Liverpool, and
could we skip
Cody
that?
Gapko with a 90+3 goal, taking his shirt off in Richarlison
He did a
style.
Richarlison it. Why
He
did
did.
Richarlison it?
He
That's
thought he won
fucking
it, and to be fair, 90+3, you think you got it in the bag, right?
yeah.
Out of
Even
out
the
of 7.
commentators even said it, the game-winning goal,
Yeah.
and and I'm like,
So,
I wasn't watching the game. I was walking the dog, and I'm like, oh shit,
mm,
I was already
we did it.
celebrating. Then I refreshed it. And I'm like, fucking, what the hell, man?
And
Then
then
once I got home to watch that worldly goal from
what
who?
a goal,
Who's Harrison Reed? Who is
right?
this guy? He's a sub, comes on, but when I watched the goal, I was like, well deserved, man. If you Virgil was right in front of him, he didn't move up to add pressure. He gave the guy the
It's too
time, the
far out. Yeah.
space to do it. I'm like, bro, at least try to move up. If you move up, you have make him think. But he had all the time in the world. It was basically a free kick, a live free
Yeah.
kick. He had all the time in the world, and he just shot a perfectly executed shot, curving away from the goalkeeper, bin, top right corner, and that was it. I don't. Nobody would have blocked that. It caught everybody in surprise. Even he was surprised. Uh, whatever. Goal of the season, goal of the week, goal of the year candidate. Man, it just
What do you call it?
sucks.
Puskas.
Yeah, the Puska award. Yeah, fuck it, man. I'm not trying to downplay him from an unknown, but that's what happens.
Yeah.
Defensively, it was our mistake. No one tried to shut that space down, and that's what happens. It doesn't matter who it is, a sub or one of your starters, but if you give him the guy
Yeah.
the space and time to do what he wants to do with it, it's going to be a good shot. And he had the perfect shot, and
Yeah.
that's what it is,
Reminds
a
me of
fucking draw.
that Vincent Company goal. Not exactly the same positioning or anything like that, but it was like a last minute winner. Vincent Company against Leicester City when they were chasing the title against Liverpool. Vincent Company defender takes that kick from outside the goal. That's the one where Aguero was telling him like, "No, don't shoot, don't shoot,"
Oh
and he
yeah,
shoots
yeah. It's
anyway.
like, yeah, good thing I didn't.
Those
Yeah,
kind of
it sort
things,
of
man.
reminded me of like the Dominic Soboslai free kick against Arsenal. It was
Exactly.
too far back. That's no one, very low percentage shot, but it went in. That was the same. I'm not sure. Yeah, it was a low percentage shot, way far out from a someone coming off the bench. Uh, perfect shot, accuracy and everything. Whatever. Hats off to
Yeah,
them. They tied it up.
amazing goal.
It's 3 points lost because we're just making defensive mistakes. But hats off to them, man. Yeah, that was a beautiful goal.
Yeah, I'll be fair though. If I'm gonna lose a game, it better be an amazing goal because I don't want to lose to a lousy goal or an own goal or something like that.
I mean, the second goal Gakpo scored was almost like a fluke. The ball bounced, the defender missed it, and the goalkeeper didn't move because he thought the defender
got it. Yeah.
And then that's why even Gakpo was able. He was surprised that he hit it with his knees, but whatever. I mean, that's a good. If I were to lose, I would love to. I mean, not lose lose or draw, but to a goal of that caliber. And it just sucks, but it is what it is. Story of my life.
All right, and then we had our highlight game of the week and the last game of match week 20, Manchester City at home hosting Chelsea, a game that had everything in Manchester City's favor. They have the better team. Shaky Chelsea without a win the whole month of December. They come into this game and without a coach, and they had an interim coach on the Chelsea under 21s take over. Chelsea also with a secondary goalkeeper. They've always had goalkeeper issues, but even then now they're on their secondary goalkeeper, not the greatest defense. This was all in Manchester City's favor. All they had to do was close it in early. They get a goal in the first half, and then after that, it was just like they got a little too confident maybe. Chelsea came back with better tactic in the second half. They took off one of their strikers for another midfielder, and they controlled a little bit more of the game. And then last minute goal by Enzo Fernandez, who everyone's saying he was wearing an Arsenal jersey underneath that Chelsea kick, because that gives the lead to Arsenal to take the top of the league by 6 points. That's 2 drop points by Manchester City that could have, I'm not gonna say it's title race defining, but it's things that add up to what could be. What I mean?
Those things, those games, those points, what they had, and they drew, I think, last game as well. Yeah, it was against Sunderland.
Yeah. Yep.
And that those add up, and especially right now with Arsenal. Yeah, you guys beat Bournemouth, so that's good. But yeah, I think they just got maybe too cocky. It's like first time coach, second string goalkeeper. They might have took their foot off the gas, but last minute goal by Enzo. It was close too. I think they were checking for offsides, but
it took a three swings at it to get it. First one he missed.
Whatever, man.
Second one, goalkeeper caught it, and the second one barely made it inside of the post, even though he was right there. But it's moments like that, man. When you look back at who will win the end of the season, you look at moments like that. I remember a couple years, was it 3-4 years ago when Liverpool played away to Manchester City, and there was that goal line clearance by John Stones. And then people were saying that was what defined that title. I think you guys lost it by 2 points or 1 point.
I think it was a point.
That was probably
2 times we lost by a point. Goal line clearance, Ball was over. It just needed a little more, and it would have been ours. But maybe maybe still could be ours. We're still waiting on those 115 charges or next Christmas. I don't know what's up with that, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'll get you a Law for Dummies book, so see if we can help the cause.
Help speed it up,
All right, so let's move into next this week's games, because they all start tomorrow, actually. So we actually won a game today that started today. West Ham at home, and they lose to Nottingham Forest. Sheesh. We have another game tomorrow, 2:30 p.m. Eastern, noon. 12:30 Mountain Time for Allen. So this is gonna be Crystal Palace at home against Aston Villa. I'm sorry, I can't talk. I'm gonna give it to Villa for this one. I feel like Palace are hitting a little bit of a shaky.
Yeah, Villa, they're in better form. Ollie Watkins is showing up, so I think it'll be. Yeah, I agree. Crystal Palace is on the decline a little bit. Aston Villa.
Right. Then we have a London derby here, Fulham against Chelsea with their new manager.
Chelsea.
I'm gonna go Fulham
You
on
know
this
what?
one.
Draw.
Oh,
I think
okay.
draw. Yeah,
1-1.
draw.
All right.
Harry Wilson.
Um,
Yeah, 1-1. Let's do.
then we have Brentford at home against Sunderland. Two teams in great form.
Brentford at home is
Tough, right?
it's good. It's a tough place to get points.
I'm gonna go
Sunderland
1-1
are
on this
known.
one.
I feel like it can. Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be a draw.
Yeah. All right, and then we have Semenyo's last game for Bournemouth before he heads up to
What are you
City.
talking about? He's a fish. He's already Man City fan.
Yeah,
He
they
joined.
said he could play one more. They said he could play one
Oh, they
more.
said one
Don't be
more.
surprised if he starts. This is tomorrow. Remember, this is tomorrow. So we have Bournemouth at home against Tottenham.
Rub it in Alan's face. Oh,
Tottenham are away.
you guys thought I was gonna join you? No, he's gonna Bournemouth.
Bournemouth. I'm going to say 2-1. 2-1 to Bournemouth. All right, then we have Manchester City against Brighton. This is all still tomorrow.
City. They have to. They're gonna be like we lost points. We got to recuperate.
Yeah, this is gonna be like a 4-1. I feel like they're gonna try to take it out of them. All right, then we have Everton at home hosting Wolves. Will they get a second win in a row?
No, not against Everton. Sorry.
All right. I'll go for a draw just to give them something. All right. Then we have Burnley at home hosting headless Manchester United.
Manchester United. It's just Burnley. I think they still have more quality.
All right. We'll see. I'm going to go Burnley on that one. All right. We have Newcastle against Leeds. This is 3:15 Eastern time tomorrow, Wednesday.
Draw. Let's do a draw.
Leeds
are finding a way to keep it draw, getting 1 point out of every game.
All right. And now we move on to the highlight game of the week and our rivals match. Is going to be the second, the turnaround, second leg.
Yeah.
Arsenal at home hosting Liverpool. It's going to be on Thursday, January 8th, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Mountain Time, noon at Pacific, I think. And so we'll see. Before we get into predictions, we are going to do our infamous combined 11. For all of you new listeners or anyone who isn't familiar, this is our rivals match. When our teams go head to head, we do a combined 11. Typically, we will give our player for each position. We'll do a 4-3-3 to keep it simple. And the third party would be the tiebreaker, but Alan is not here. So we're just going to have to leave it up to chance, see what happens, see if we can come to a conclusion or just leave it up. As a surprise, when our third party Alan decides to join us, he can make the decisions and then we'll post it online. Follow us on Instagram, Rivals on the Pitch. So 4-3-3. Let's go by spot. So we'll do goalkeeper, fullbacks, center backs, 3 midfielders, and then 2 wingers and 1 striker. And if we start a goalkeeper, I think it's pretty obvious. I'm gonna go with David Raya, leading in clean sheets at the moment, probably peak form. I gotta go with Raya. I don't have any other arguments. That's all I got.
Yeah, I agree. This is gonna be an easy combined 11. There's not gonna be a lot of pushback because Liverpool they're not showing. They're not playing. So yeah, I'd go with Alisson if he was a little. He is still one of the best goalkeepers, but just based on the season, Raya has more clean sheets. They're higher up in the table. I'm going with Raya as well.
All right. So let's do our fullbacks. I started with goalkeepers. If you want to give me your fullbacks,
well, let's just do it easier. Let's do the whole Arsenal back four. That's just it. There's no one on Liverpool's back four that I would say. Our left back is inconsistent. Right back, they're just keep switching between Frimpong and Bradley. Konate and Virgil are no-show at the moment. Just keep it simple. There's no reason to fight for players that aren't worth fighting for that aren't fighting for the in the game. So
So the only thing I would say is Calafiori is currently out injured. And I don't know if Inca Piet has been playing left back, so I would probably
yeah, he
start
does
him.
play.
So would you go with Inca Piet or would you argue with a Kirkes there?
I don't know. It's Kirkes is inconsistent. There's days where he plays well. He looks like the player from Bournemouth, and then the other day he's just so lost. Uh, you know what? But then no, I'll go with Think Up. Yeah,
Okay. All right. Ecuadorian, all
let's
right, in
Think
the
Up. Yeah,
house.
yeah. Why not?
All
I
right.
got his
So you
jersey
think
in
we
the
should
locker.
go?
In the yeah,
Oh, nice. All
they
right. I'll
do.
get you the Arsenal one.
Oh no, I don't want that shit. Yeah, we'll do Timbers, Saliba, Gabriel, and Incapie.
Think of you. All right. All
Yeah,
right. Cool. I'll take it.
I did say. Yeah, of course. There's not
All
gonna be
right.
a lot of pushback.
All right. So why don't we do midfield? Let's start with attacking midfielder. So I think because Odegaard I think he last two games he had were great, but he's been injured. And before the injury, I don't think he was great. Eze hasn't even been starting, just because I feel like he's still kind of getting used to the team. He does offer something, but I don't think he would start over Odegaard. And to be honest, I feel like it would be a massive miss to not give Soboslai a shout for attacking midfielder. I feel like honestly um
That's the one
he would
person
he would
that I think that I mean, one of the maybe two or three that I was thinking should be in is just Dominic Soboslai. He's been the best player on the Liverpool squad, doing midfield, right wing, right back. Yeah, I that was the only one I was probably would fight for, and I agree. I think Odegaard just he hasn't had it hasn't been his best season. He just came back from injury. Eze hasn't played ever since Odegaard came back. Um,
yeah.
yeah, I agree with that one, Dominic.
All right. So and you let me know because I have options here because I'm not super familiar with the positions for Liverpool players because I feel like it's always different. Whereas for Arsenal,
Neither
you're
do
always
I.
gonna get the same three. So I actually had McAllister and Rice and Soboslai in the midfield, but I know Subamendi's been fantastic, but I still feel like McAllister's a little bit better as far as what he can provide attacking wise. Subamendi did just score a goal against Villa, but um, he's that deep lying defensive midfielder, and I just feel like McAllister is a little bit more all around. Obviously, I'm going to start Rice in the midfield as well, but I don't
Yeah.
know. What do you think?
Yeah, I was gonna go with Declan Rice as well. For me, what is Declan Rice's defensive mid or what? Or how is he gonna?
He did play that recently, but he kind of does it all. Like he does defensive midfielder or that number 8 role.
Yeah, that's what I
But
was thinking. Like it's sort of weird because I mean, it basically you're in a position, but you have basically have freedom to do whatever it is you want.
yeah,
Um, Maka. I mean, he hasn't been the best of form as well. That's the thing. That's why I didn't think
okay,
Maka was one that I wasn't. I was probably go with Verts because but I think he also can play on the left wing. But because Maka has been inconsistent as well. Because the only ones I was thinking of was basically, but it depends on where I put Verts. But no, I'll because Zubamendi is basically like a defensive mid. Same with Maka, he plays in that position. I'll go with Maka. Yeah, McAllister
okay,
and
that's
Rice.
fair. I'll give it to him just because he's also, like I said, he's got a lot of experience in the Premier League from Brighton and from Liverpool. He's kind of like a game changer sometimes, I feel like. And you know
Yeah,
what? Like I said, maybe next season I'll give Zubimendi more credit. The thing that I feel like I said, he's been great so far, filling a position
yeah,
for Party who we thought would be harder to fill, and he's made it look easy. However, sometimes I still feel like he's still catching up to the pace of the Premier League. He gets caught on the ball sometimes, which I don't like. But like I said, I'll give him the little bit of leeway because this is his first season. If you remember
yeah,
that goal that Richarlison scored against us from that basically almost halfway line, that was a giveaway from him. Sometimes I think he thinks he has more time on the ball than he actually does. Not in the Premier League. You don't
Yeah.
get
Yep.
the so I think McAllister offers a little bit more experience. So yeah, that was my midfield. Soboslai, McAllister, and Declan Rice.
Heard.
All right, cool. Now let's go to the top. So let's start with the wingers. What you got?
I got no one. I mean,
No one? What?
Saka on the right.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
me too.
because Chiesa, he's doesn't have enough game time to do anything.
Oh, it's
Even though I mean,
Salaza
Saka
Afcon, right?
hasn't had the best record at the moment. He's not having the best season. And Salah's in Afcon. There's no one really on the right. You can put Dominic, but he's in the midfield. But yeah, I'll go with Saka on the right.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely not. He doesn't have the goals that he's had the past few seasons, and I know that's one of the personal goals that he typically, puts on himself. But as far as like, I think he's a great creator of chances. He's got a lot of assists. A lot of the own goals that we scored in the past couple of games have all been created by him. I mean, the two that we got against Wolves, one was a corner kick, and the other one was a cross that ended up like. So he's really threatening the box, and I feel like I don't mind if he's not scoring the goals as long as he's creating, getting those crosses in, getting those shots in, getting the corners. Um, yeah. And as far as the left wing, I have Trossard. I think he's been probably one of our best players. If it wasn't for Declan Rice, I
Yeah,
think he would be our best player this season so far. He just comes in clutch, very important goals. When he's not there, we can miss it because Martinelli is just a very different type of player.
yeah. I'm not a
Um,
fan of Martinelli.
I like what he offers, but I just feel like he needs to offer a more rounded.
If he
He
can
needs to offer a little bit more.
if he can actually offer it, you know, in
Yeah.
person, not on paper, then I think he'd be great. But he
I mean,
hasn't
he's
been
got
able
5
to.
goals in the Champions League, but like I said, he's coming
Yeah,
on
nothing in the
typically second
Prem.
half. Yeah, I think in the Prem he's got 1, maybe 2 goals. Like I said, he's very quick. We know that. He's got a good shot. But when we're playing teams who play like low blocks and are good defensively, he's not the type of player to break through that defense where Trossard is. He's very technically proficient and he's got a hell of a strike. So I'm just going with Saka and Trossard on the wings.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking of Trossard. I mean, he has a better round game this season. I would have gone with Verts. I mean, just based on the past 3 games, he had an assist and a goal in each one. But yeah, I would be fine with Trossard. I think he's been one of your more consistent players for the Arsenal team.
Yeah.
And yeah, and Verts just started getting, into a rhythm compared to Trossard, who's been there already. So yeah, fine with Trossard on the
All right.
left.
And now we move on to striker, which I feel like we're probably going to agree on this one too. I'm a big fan of Gyökeres. I'm very happy with the workload. I think he's the type of player, and there was a lot of screenshots going around of him dragging 4 defenders against Bournemouth for Rice to score the 2 goals. He was basically free in the box because he was pulling 4 defenders. But he hasn't had the output that I think everyone expected him to have. I think at the beginning of the season, I said I was hoping that he'd get at least 15 goals. If I would be happy
That's
with
what I was.
15,
Yeah,
and he's
that's what I was gonna
currently
bring
sitting at
up.
6 at the moment. So halfway, a little bit short on the halfway line. Hoping he can score more, but it's hard to deny Ekitike of that spot when he's come in and sat down guys like Wirtz and Isak. You know what I mean? And the way he just hit the ground running with Liverpool, it was just he was like naturally just looks like he just fits
Yeah,
there. So I'm gonna go with Ekitike up top.
I agree. Yeah, it's just I think he has 10 goals already, 10 goal contributions or whatever, for Liverpool, and he's like I said, he's hasn't played all the games, so that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Gyökeres isn't having the best season at the moment, and I think that's what we compared it before about the Portuguese league and the German league, but that's a talk for another that's for another day. But yeah, I could take it at the moment. Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
agreed. All right,
See, those are like
there
the
we
only
go.
two I was gonna fight for. Dominic Soboslai and Ekatike. Luckily, we could agree
Nah,
on this. We
definitely.
don't even need Allen. Next time we have another combined 11, Allen calling sick again. It's easy.
I mean, that's what I feel like people feel for both Ekatike and Dominic Soboslai, because Dominic, he's one of those that just doesn't quit. He's got the
Yeah.
quality, but he's also got the performance, man. He just never
That's
stops.
what
And
people are saying. He's got like future captain potential right there. And he
I could
sort
see
of
that.
reminds them of like Steven Gerrard, because just the fact that will run back and run up to do what needs to be. And yeah, Ekatike didn't have respect on his name because when you got Isaac on the team and the price
Yeah.
tag, but I mean, being on PSG with Neymar, Messi, and all these superstars, he's
Yeah.
getting his props now, and it's good. I mean, but it's
Yeah.
so far. Well, hopefully shows up against on Arsenal against and get us some goals. Hopefully a
We'll
win. But
see.
we'll get to that.
Soboslai with the dagger at the first leg
Yeah.
away at Anfield. Free kick. I think it was the 87th minute or something like that.
Yeah.
Right when it was, I remember when that happened. I looked at the clock and I said, that's it. I don't think we're getting anything out of this.
I was like, why is he even shooting it? And shoot all you want, bro.
Yeah, big disappointment on our end here, but now we're at the Emirates.
Chance to get revenge.
Chance to get revenge, so we can pull off what we did to Villa, and we'll see. So let's jump into our predictions. This is our highlight game of the week, highlight week of the game.
Some things don't
Both
change.
of them. Exactly. So Alan will be predicting his score for the Tottenham game, and he will also be predicting for this game, because Randy and I only predict once for this one, since this is our highlight game. The points count double. So if we get a 3-pointer for guessing the right score, a 1-pointer for guessing the right winner, or none, it's all going to be double for us. So, all right. Should we? Who wants to go first?
Let's do it with Alan.
All right. What was his prediction for this one?
Oh, for Liverpool and Arsenal, he got him a draw, 2-2.
Wow.
Yeah, because he wants to catch up. That's wishful thinking, but wishful thinking.
From 13th, he wants to jump from 13th to 3rd, huh?
Yeah.
All right. So, all right, we'll go. What do you say? 1-1?
No, 2-2.
Oh, 2-2. All right. I'll get. All right.
2-2.
At least it'll be some goals. Should be a good game.
Yeah.
All right. Who's the youngest? I'm the youngest, right? I'm 18. How old are you?
Oh, I'm the youngest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I still get asked for my ID when I buy beer.
Nice.
All right. For me, maybe it's wishful thinking, but I'm hoping for a draw. We're not the best team in form right now. Soccer can be unpredictable sometimes. Maybe we can have our best game against Arsenal at the Emirates. Maybe they'll wake up, but I'm hoping for a draw. I think it'll be I'm going with Alan. I'm 2-2 as well.
2-2. All right. All right. You know what?
Maybe a last minute winner, man. I'm not going to be like Alan's, like, oh yeah, I'm going for the win. We're 3-0, or
listen. This is
Alan. I'm being realistic. We're not.
This is why he's so low on the mini league, man. He's just like win. We
can get to the points later.
He thinks that Tottenham are gonna go undefeated every season. Why is he always win on his predictions? Come on, man. Throwing a draw in there.
I think he would get more points if he would have picked them to lose, or at least get a draw.
At least last season for sure, yeah.
Yeah. I think he dropped out of the race.
He's gonna hate listening to this, and I love it.
Yeah, you got to show up next time, bro.
Exactly. All right, so my prediction, I have to go with a win, man. We need to win this title, and 6 points is not enough space between you and Pep Guardiola. That's all I gotta say. We both of us know that well enough.
Yeah.
After chasing them for so many years, so we have to win this game. I'm gonna go with a 2-1 victory for Arsenal.
Let me see.
All right, and that's that. Oh, and we had to do Alan's predictions for the Tottenham game. Did he give us that?
Why? I should change it. We should just change it for him and at least try to get him some points. Because Alan got
Yeah.
Spurs beating Bournemouth 2-1. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Yeah.
New
Okay.
Year, same shit. Hey, he don't change.
Exactly.
And this is against
Same old.
maybe a BS Menules team, but whatever.
We'll see. We'll see.
Got
Parting gift.
2-1.
Hat trick. Parting hat trick gift. You never know. Got to take the ball home. Get it signed by all the players.
Yeah, he couldn't do it against Arsenal, so I guess we'll have to do it against Spurs.
Yep. So, all right. And that is it. We are not playing this weekend. These are all midweek games. So then we are on skip until next weekend. Is there a FA Cup? Why are we taking a?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I didn't get too much into it. I think there might be an FA Cup. I think there might be
Let's see here. Yep, FA Cup. That's what it is. So let's look up some FA Cup ties real quick before we close it out. All right. So on Friday, we have MK Dons against Oxford United. We have Preston against Wigan Athletic. Wrexham against Nottingham Forest. That should be fun.
Wrexham. Nottingham Forest?
Yeah.
Ooh, that should be a good
I think Wrexham could take it.
Yeah. Put in Deadpool.
Yeah, exactly. We have Port Vale against Fleetwood. We have Macclesfield against Crystal Palace. I can see Palace winning that one. And here's another good one. Everton against Sunderland on Saturday, 7:15 a.m. Should be good.
Aren't they playing? They're playing this week, right?
Yeah. Yep. That's why everyone's playing so early. Then we have Wolves against Shrewsbury. We have Cheltenham against Leicester. Doncaster against Southampton. Stoke City against Coventry. Sheffield Wednesday against Brentford. Newcastle against Bournemouth. That should be a good one.
Newcastle.
That one's 10 a.m. Saturday. All these games should be streamed on Hulu, I believe, if anyone's curious.
Oh, nice. I'm calling that
sick. We have Fulham against Middlesbrough. And we have Ipswich Town against Blackpool. I went to see Ipswich Town. They were actually pretty decent. Manchester City against Exeter City. I'll give Exeter an upset there. Burnley against Millwall. Let me see what else we have here. Tottenham against Aston Villa in the FA Cup. Wow, they just draw every short straw they get. They don't get it easy, do they?
Frank has been bad this year or something. Santa ain't giving them gifts. He's getting cool.
Man, well, the kind of bad juju they put on there. They got one of the hardest teams to play.
Don't worry, Alan will still have them winning.
Yep. We have Grimsby Town. If you guys remember that upset against Manchester United, they'll be taking on Weston Supermare. Chelsea are playing Charlton Athletic. Derby County against Leeds United. Derby's Rooney was coaching Derby, wasn't he?
Now he's gone.
Oh, was not anymore. Yeah. So Arsenal take on Portsmouth. This is on Sunday. Let's see if there's any other good ones. West Ham QPR. Manchester United Brighton. Probably still coachless by this game. Maybe not. If they know if it's going, if it's Ole and they know it's Ole,
yeah,
they'll have them by then. And then Monday, January 12th, 2:45 p.m., we have Liverpool at home against Barnsley. FA Cup.
Barnsley. I thought it was Crystal Palace because we're always against Crystal Palace and everything.
So Arsenal play on Sunday and you guys play on Monday. So you guys get an extra day of rest. Wow.
You get an extra day of rest too. You played Saturday. We played Sunday.
Okay, all right. That's fair then. That's fair. It comes around. All right, and that is an episode. Thank you so much for joining us. Happy New Year to everyone. We have so much in store for the rest of the season. Rivals on the pitch. We've heard our combined 11. If you agree or disagree, make sure to hit us in the comments. You can comment on Spotify or Instagram, TikTok. You can follow us on all those platforms and listen to this also on YouTube and Apple Podcast. So thanks again for listening. And up the Gunners. I'm Pat.
And I'm Randy. You'll never walk alone, hopefully.
All right.
And for our European followers, I know some of you guys are celebrating Christmas. Strejan Bozik. Hopefully, I said it right, for you guys over there.
All right.
Laters.
Okay. Very nice. Peace.